Hey everybody, how we doing? Oh, let's go to the right scene. There we go. Hi everybody, how you doing? Friday night special, not on the schedule. We see how it all works out here. Um, Doing a veteran talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict that's come in today. A lot of things have happened. A lot of people on both sides are having issues. Um, we're not going to take sides, but we are going to go with the verdict that the 12-person jury came up with that was unanimous with the information they were provided. What we are going to do, though, is um, discuss some of the things that are being said out in the public realm right now. Things that are coming across may or may not be true. See, how many people have actually watched the show. It was uh, brain. See how many people are watching the watch the trial and paid attention to it. We'll see how it all pans out, I guess. So let's jump in here because guess what? We're just going to go down some of this Twitter stupidity just to see what happens. That's all we can do, right? We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So. Um, it's kind of interesting to see how things play out in people's minds and how much they believe what they're being told by specific organizations that provide news. I obviously, I like to think for myself. I don't believe everything I'm told. I don't care where it's from. I only believe half of what I see. And let's make it even more fun. Anything that comes across, I'm going to research because I don't trust it. Okay. Now, if you know me and we've talked about this in the past at some level, hi, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Thanks for stopping in. Um, One of the things that really kind of stands out to me is how many people just kind of fly off the handle. They have this idea in their mind, and it's one way or the other. And even if they're proven wrong, then they still, they won't change their minds. They still have this specific mindset that either yes or no or maybe or possibly they don't want to commit to something or be told that they're wrong. We're not going to get into the psychology of that, I hope. We'll see. So let's see some of these things and see what's kind of really out there, shall we? Um, let's start with this one. Reach ready to agree. Let's go. One thing ought to be able to reach consensus about Kyle Rittenhouse at a minimum that he is not a hero. A disturbing number of people think otherwise. I can accept some debate on the legal case, but anyone who celebrates that what Rittenhouse did is disgusting. Okay. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to say, number one, I think we can all agree on he was 17 years old and had zero business being out there. None whatsoever, let alone with a weapon of any kind. All right. Um, I get that he was trying to help. I get that he wanted to help, but I still have an issue, and I don't believe he should have been there at the age of 17. All right, at age 18, there's nothing that can be said. This would have been a whole different ball game, I think, to some extent, had he been 18 years old. But because he was a minor in possession of a firearm, this kind of got blown out of proportion. We'll see how it all plays out in the long run. I can't do much of anything about it, or none of us can. Now, there may be civil suits coming and some other things, but according to the law of the United States, he cannot be retried for those crimes, period. It's a double jeopardy law. They don't get what they want, they go back and do it again. The only way that can actually happen, that doesn't fall under double jeopardy, is if it's a hung jury, where they cannot come to a consensus. In 3 days, 12 jurors decided that everything was the same. They all agreed to everything. Excuse me. So we ended up with having, 12 individuals that made a decision with the evidence that they were provided, and it came out with, not guilty on all counts, on the 5 counts that were provided, because there was a 6th one about him having the firearm as a minor that was dismissed because it was of legal length and everything. There was nothing. He did not take it across state lines. That was proven during the trial, that he picked it up already in Wisconsin, so he did not go across state lines with a firearm. Don't know what the problem with that is. Let's be honest, but it is what it is. Is he a hero? Not by any means. Okay. He shouldn't have been where he was. This would have not gone down. People would still be alive. Whatever. I don't care. All right. Back to the beginning. He should not have been there. He was there. This happened. We're dealing with it. So, see Mr. Walsh here. He took down a mob of arsonists, rapists, and then defeated the entire media, big tech Democrat machine. See, we're getting political about this. Now, I know there's politics involved. I understand. Hi, welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate having you here. Don't forget you can jump in the chat, and we can discuss these things. Or if you so desire, where did it go? I'm moving things around on my desk. Sorry. There we go. Now I can get to it. Hop in my Discord channel if you want to talk, and we can discuss this. I'm in the lobby in the voice channel. Discuss some of these things that we're going over. I mean, it's some of the stuff is just outright insane that I've been looking at. Okay, I'm not going to get into these slights about this. Let's see. Can we identify mental illness? No, just kidding. We're not going to do that. This has not been a very complex case as far as I'm concerned. I've watched a lot of it. The only reason that this was not chalked up to self-defense in the first place and it went to trial was because there was the mob decided somebody needed to pay for this. And you'll see some of these tweets that still think they should still be convicted of crimes that he's now been exonerated of. Let's see here. Michael Malice, let's see. Upon reviewing the evidence and despite great public pressure and fear for their lives, and that's true, there were threats on their lives. Some of them were doxxed, which is illegal in all 50 states if memory serves. Not one juror found him guilty of any of the charges. There were 2 that did voice their concern over repercussions, of finding him not guilty, but they went ahead and did it anyways. They did not bow to the pressure of what might happen after the fact. Now, I don't have the news up. I'm not watching anything or listening to anything else. So at this moment, all I know is there are some protests that haven't, there's no violence at the moment that I'm aware of. But there are peaceful protests going on because they're not agreeing that he should have been found not guilty because there was loss of life. But, most of these are the same people that think anytime there's a shooting involving a police officer, they were wrong and should be convicted of murder. So we'll not delve into that one. So, let's see here. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Twitter. Waiting for Twitter to suspend all accounts spreading dangerous misinformation today describing Kyle Rittenhouse as a vigilante or a murderer. That would be nice because he is neither. Okay? Vigilante goes out looking for crime and goes and, deals with the criminal without going through proper, authorities and the criminal justice system. As a murderer, he is not, because he did not go out with the intent to murder. That was proven in this case beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt, excuse me. Let's use the proper legal terms here. Beyond a reasonable doubt, he was not out there to find trouble. He did not incite anybody to come after him so that he could shoot them. I have seen many different versions where people are, oh my God, he did this on purpose. Did you watch the trial? Did you watch the same thing I watched? Okay. Did you use that part of your mind that's analytical? Because the reality of the situation was he was running away from everything and people were chasing him. Okay. If you didn't see that, I can't help you. It might be a grand idea for you to go back and watch some of the videos. Okay. Don't even get me started on the prosecution and how inept they were. Okay. Tucker Carlson is going to have Mr. Rittenhouse on Monday, 8 o'clock show Eastern time, I believe. It's been confirmed. Let's see here. Okay, so Kenosha authorities, whatever. Okay. Let's see here. The new Defend Your Hunger campaign that Chili's is doing. Okay, I don't know about that. Has anybody seen this? Let me know. Send me a message or something, and let me know if there's a Defend Your Hunger campaign that is actually with Kyle Rittenhouse, because I'd be absolutely surprised if they did that, especially for the fact that he's not getting paid for it. The one and awesome Dan Crenshaw. Kyle Rittenhouse is rightly found not guilty, obviously. He should sue the major media outlets, obviously. Yes, he should. Anyone else wondering why Gage, I can't pronounce his last name, doesn't also have to go on trial for threatening and chasing somebody with a weapon? Or does that only apply to non-Antifa? Now, in the videos, you saw people attacking Mr. Rittenhouse. Why have they not been arrested and brought to trial? Why is there nothing about that? Okay. Let's use our common sense for a second. Let's take out the what happened at the first shooting, but the fact that he committed the first shooting. He did defend himself against the first individual. Okay. Now he is running away. He is trying to distance himself. What do you think the intellectual capacity of those people are that decided to run up and attack him? He has already shot one person. He's still carrying the weapon. And you're going to run up and attack him? What in your brain thinks that that's a good idea? Please, somebody tell me. All right. That doesn't pass the common sense test. That really, really doesn't. And then you're going to sit there on the stand. One of them did, the survivor that was shot while he was defending himself. And I've got to go to disable low latency mode. Okay. What is going on? My stream is jacked up. Under advanced, let's see here. Where the hell is low latency mode? I don't see low latency mode. Kind of strange. No, I don't. Well, maybe we can do that. Okay. Let's add low latency mode on and see what happens. Maybe it'll stop cutting out, because apparently it's cutting out. Now, unfortunately, I'm competing with Hazardous Warfare, who's playing games right now. But I'm running a little talk show here. So, back to business. Hopefully the stream stops cutting out and we get a better signal. It is Friday night. And, God knows how many people are really streaming right now. Let's see here. Can't pronounce her name. The justice system did what it was designed to do, protect people like Kyle Rittenhouse. If we're ever going to tackle racial injustice in America, we have to admit our justice system isn't working for black, brown, indigenous people, but also have to transform it. Okay, so I'm not getting into the color thing. Okay, I'm not. I refuse to. I don't care what the color of your skin is. If you're a criminal, you're a criminal. If you get killed by the police because you drew a weapon on them and fired, that's on you. Okay? Let's be clear. You have a choice. Everyone has a choice. What do you want to do? Do you want to sit back and, do the right thing? Okay, I'm a convicted criminal. I'm not going back to jail thing. Well, you're probably going to die. All right. Not all the time, but you're probably going to die. There are quite a few that have been arrested that have even killed cops and they were taken in alive. So there's that. We as individuals make our choices. It's that simple. I don't care how you cut it. You make the decision to pull a weapon on somebody, whether it be police or otherwise, that is a choice you are making. Right? You have other choices. That is up to you to decide what they are and how to deal with it. But let's be clear. There are repercussions to everything. Okay? Okay, Vince, what do you got? So I got suspended last summer on Twitter for saying Rittenhouse was innocent. Okay. That's kind of the same thing. Here we go. Liberals like to ask why Kyle Rittenhouse was out that night, but don't ask why there was a serial child rapist out that night and not in prison for the rest of his life. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can go over with this. All right. Should anybody have been out that night? No. They all should have been home watching TV or something, playing games. But they all made the conscious decision to do what? Go out and be a part of a demonstration or protest. Protest, fine, no issues. I'll tell you for a fact, any police department, law enforcement agency, any law enforcement agency will take a peaceful protest any day. They will stand with you. They will support you. They will walk beside you. Not the rioters is what I'm talking about. Recall, don't be an ass. You have that right. The problem is once you hit a certain time, the protesters go home. Okay? They've done what they wanted to do. They've taken their signs and they've gone home. Where what happens afterwards are riots. I don't care what the media says. It is a riot. The moment somebody throws a bottle, throws a rock, whatever, they start becoming violent. They start destroying private and public property. That is a riot, hands down. No, they have a right to peaceful assembly. You're right. But, like I said, this was later on in the evening. Where should they have been? All right. These people weren't even near where the protest and everything was happening. They were blocks away. So where should these people have been? Home. That's where they should have been. Home, playing a video game, watching TV, whatever. Okay? If you're going to be part of it, you got to go be part of it. Go get your ass in there, shut the fuck up, and play the game. All right? Devil's advocate is always welcome, and I do appreciate it. Okay? If I didn't already say that. And I don't know if you were here at the beginning. Mr. Rittenhouse should not have been out there at the age of 17. That's my official statement on that. What's going to happen tonight and over the weekend remains to be seen. Do you want to go protest the fact that he was found not guilty by a jury of 12 people with the evidence provided? Go ahead. But did you actually take the time to learn why he was acquitted? Has nothing to do with his skin. Has nothing to do with his age. Has nothing to do with anything other than what was provided. Oh, okay. So what are you disagreeing with me on? Go ahead. Lay it on me. My headphones just turn off. Oh, that's nice. My headphones just turned off. Yes, I can, and here's why. Just based on his age. At the age of 17, a 17-year-old cannot go by themselves to enlist in the military or into the state militias, which are known as National Guard. All right. They have to have parental consent to be able to go and do that. And let's keep in mind that in this country, legal age of consent as an adult is 18. Okay. So, devil's advocate that one. Should he have been out there? No. Not without a parent. How's that? Now, if his father or his mother were out there with him, whole nother story. Okay. But as a minor, the answer is no. Hi, welcome to the channel. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in. You can hop in to chat with me. I don't recall having any of that information. However, it doesn't matter if they knew where he was, they were not with him. He cannot go to a doctor, go to the ER, and get treated for anything without parental consent unless it is a life or death emergency. Okay? So you have to keep that in mind. Yes, but they did not take responsibility for him. They did not even know who he was, according to the testimony that I saw. Yeah, he did get separated, but instead of, there were a lot of things that went wrong that night, okay? What I'm talking about is after the fact. It happened, so what are we going to do about it? I mean, personally, I would have never told one of my kids it's okay for you to go because, I know better. You're going out at night in a city that's already had riots and things like that. No, you keep your ass at home. You're 17 years old. You're still stupid. Sit down, shut up, go play your game. All right? You turn 18 years old, you can do what you want. You're a legal adult. Period. Just don't get my number for bail. There's a lot of variables in this situation that, like it or not, is going to be looked at for years to come. The only benefit to this is that a young man who made poor decisions, who was put in a bad place, made some poor choices, had to, in his mind, defend himself. And in doing so, lives were lost and changed forever, to include his. His is changed forever. He will never be the same person. Okay? Did he make the right decisions that night? I'm going to start with no, because he went out there. But because he was there, there were a lot of different choices. I mean, it's variables. It's Monday morning quarterbacking. Do we like it? No. But what are we going to do about it? This kid made some bad decisions, and he was looking at spending the rest of his life in jail. Well, like I said before, everything came out in the wash, and it specifically came out that he defended himself. He is not guilty on the charges that were put up against him for the alleged crimes that the state charged him with. They knew they lost that case day 2, I think it was, of testimony, when they had the I don't remember his name, the third gentleman that was shot, that, he's lost most of his bicep, because he admitted that when he approached him with his hands up in the air, Rittenhouse didn't shoot him. But the moment he drew his weapon and pointed it at him, he got shot. So I think so as well. Again, based on the evidence and everything that was provided. Now, again, we get to see more of the stuff than the jury did. Okay. So, yeah. But hey, you know what? I'll give him one thing. He told the truth when he got up there. But here's the problem. He got popped on a DUI earlier this year. And his court case was supposed to be, I want to say, January. And 2 weeks before the trial started, all the charges got dropped. Stinks of lots of things, but we won't go there. Um, this was a bad thing all around. All right. First off, rioters shouldn't have been out there. Second, police should have been doing a better job. My understanding is that they were also um, uh, their hands were tied to some extent by the mayor. Okay. Well, he still told the truth. To some extent. I mean, his bullshit of I was traveling in the same direction. He was chasing him down. All right. That was a lie. I saw right through that shit. This is why they can't have me on any of these juries, because I see through the lies. I know. I've been a liar all my life. I have children, not to mention what I used to do for a living. But we really need to take a step back and get to the root cause of what happened and why it happened. Okay. Again, they were several blocks away from where the riots were happening, or the peaceful protesters. But there were still a ton of people around hanging out doing stupid shit. Okay? Away from the police. Surprise, surprise. Should they have been there? No. Again, a lot of things went wrong. How do we, learn from the future? People, don't let your freaking kids out at night if they're 17 or under. Oh yeah, and there apparently there was uh, a tweet or something from one of his buddies that he said his only regret was that he didn't shoot him first or something like that. Amazingly, that got taken down pretty quickly, but of course it's the internet, so it exists forever. Let's see here. The DCCC put out a statement condemning Kyle Rittenhouse. In it, they said Jacob Blake, who is alive and was armed when he was shot by police and was dead and all right. Is my brain not working? It was a protest in the unjust killing of Jacob Blake, an unarmed black man. They take lives of two people and injure another and face no consequence. You think that kid faced no consequence? You're a moron. There is one set of rules for everybody. Do they get manipulated at times? Yes, they do. You ever heard of an attorney? They play fucking games all over the place. Honestly, I haven't looked at it. As I said earlier, I'm just here, just going down the tweets. I'm trying to, keep this, going one direction. Let me see what I can find if there's anything. Protests erupt from New York to California, but if they're protests, I'm fine with that. Nothing that I can see. Let's see here, Kenosha. Wisconsin. News. Let's see what the local news stations have. Dun, dun, dun. That's Chicago. Here's Kenosha News. Last updated 6 hours ago. State and local organizations react to Rittenhouse verdict, which, of course, you're just going to get it all over the place. Don't get me started on the president. That's not what I'm looking for, though. Okay, here we go. No, that's not going to be it. Let's see here. That's Kenosha News. Let's see what the Fox affiliate has going on in there. I'm going to say no. Nothing's being reported yet that I can see from any of the news agencies in the area. But again, we'll see how that plays out in time. It's the only thing we can do. No, and it's still early. It's only 9:30 Kenosha time. So we may end up looking, these things tend to go worse as the night goes on. So we will see. Let me see, what else do we have? This guy's got a good point. I like him. Let's listen to some of his stuff.
Endless propaganda and ceaseless slander from the legacy media, the politicians, and even celebrities. Kyle Rittenhouse has been acquitted. That's great. It truly is. I hope Kyle goes on to do wonderful things with his life, namely, and notwithstanding, suing the social media platforms that ban people who asserted his innocence. Also the legacy media, and oh yeah, right, Joe Biden for calling him a white supremacist when he wasn't. That being said, conservatives, I really hope you guys don't think that this is over. No. This is just the beginning. What, did you think the prosecution system was only limited to one binger? No. It's full of them. And by now, here's a dirty little secret. Most of them are probably judges by now. That being said, understand the law. Protect yourself. Know when to fight. Know when it's not smart to fight. Don't go out in stupid situations and be safe. Because what happened for Kyle may not happen for you. And also understand this. The establishment, they're pissed. They're really pissed. The media called this a peasant revolt. And guess what? They still have control. And they've got endless hordes of mid-wit sycophants who throw at you. And they will do just that.
That is the truth. Wise words from this man. I like him. Lex Luthor, political villain. May have to follow him later. Who cares about Jesse Smollett? Massive crowd of Black Lives Matter activists take to the streets of Brooklyn in response. Case, let's see, Kyle Rittenhouse case, and chant, say his name, George Floyd. What does George Floyd have to do with, what does George Floyd have to do with Rittenhouse? Somebody explain that to me, please. Thanks for the host, Rick. Well, I appreciate it. But this is a peaceful protest. In their mind, it was wrong. Okay. You have this right. This is a given right, as the country states under God, your ability to go out and protest something you find unjust or whatever. And as long as it stays this way, I will never have a problem with it. I may disagree. Pardon me. I may disagree with you. I, have my own opinions, but I try and base my opinions on the facts of what are given. Um, yeah, Jacob Blake was the person that was shot. I think he was the one that was on the on the stand. Let's see here. No, 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 no. Okay, Jacob Blake was the black man. Excuse me. Here we go. It was a police shooting. Police shot him, and the district attorney decided not to charge the officer who shot Blake, given the uh, given the evidence. So the protests and riots were because of um, he's been left partially paralyzed, according to the report I'm reading off camera here. And of course, he was shot in the back 7 times, this, that, and the other thing. You get shot in the back 7 times, and you're only paralyzed, and you're alive. Yeah, okay. So that's where the Jacob Blake came into play. Okay, the riots were because of the lack of prosecution of the police that shot him, because he was an unarmed black man, whatever. Okay. No, Jacob Blake was not white. And but it matters to these folks, okay? You got to remember, we're dealing with a lot of people who automatically think that the police automatically target black people, they're out to kill them, yada yada yada. So to them it matters. So they're going to go out because they don't have all the information. They don't care to get all the information. Well, that's what. All right, I must be misunderstanding what your point is. But that's why they were out protesting, and the riots were happening, because the riots were happening. Rittenhouse was apparently asked to go help protect one of the car lots. I think the one that was already burned down. Okay, with Rittenhouse, yes, but even and this is where he's going to come back to bite the president of the United States. A lot of people, for no apparent reason, have been calling him a white supremacist. All right, I have not seen any evidence provided that he was, other than people thinking he is because he's white. Liberal loonies, dude, I can't tell you. I seriously cannot tell you why race has to come into play with this. Okay, it's not gonna be just as an easy fix as it. Everybody's got to have something to go on. Why they're saying? I mean, everybody that was, he defended himself against were white. There wasn't a single black person that attacked him that I could tell in any of the videos. So I don't know. I don't know why they're trying to make this a race issue. By the way, it's not race, it's color. Okay, we're all the same race. You people are fucking stupid. Oh, he's of African American descent. All right, number one, he's an American of African descent. If you're born here, you're an American first, then heritage comes after that. In part, yeah, that's exactly what the media is trying to say. I mean, even after the acquittal, and I'm sure we'll get to some of these fucking morons, that they are, still pushing these narratives. I've seen news articles already about tweets and things that he brought, the gun across state lines. Well, it's been proven he didn't. He incited them to attack him so that he could shoot him. Well, no, there's no evidence of that either. These people didn't even watch the fucking trial. They didn't even take the time to do anything unless there's something else behind this. Okay? I'm not going to start playing here and say that there's a reason these people are trying to still divide this country by skin tone. All right? No, please be my guest. I don't ever have a problem with you playing devil's advocate. Sometimes I need some clarification. Remember, brain's fucked up. But you understand my point that there's something going on behind the scenes that these people won't just come out and say. All right, I don't get the statement. Reason to come on what? Please elaborate, oh wise one. Hopefully heavily medicated. Oh, you'll come out and say it. Anybody with half a brain, it takes more than that. Anybody that has common sense can truly see why these people are trying to divide this country again. Okay, we came together after 9/11. It took something that drastic. I agree with that statement. I will read that statement just in case nobody can see it, because they want us too busy fighting each other over bullshit reasons instead of uniting and seeing what they are really fucking doing and can't stop them. End quote from DV Recoil 1. I have no argument with that. Okay? It makes life easier for them. They don't want us to see what's going on in politics and things like that. There was another man, let me pull this up, who was just acquitted, a black man actually. Where was he? Lakeland. Let me see here. That's not what I need to search for. Oops. I can't spell acquittal. No, that's not it. I think he was in Lakeland. Yeah, I don't see it on here. He got acquitted of some pretty bad charges because he got into a gunfight with SWAT team. SWAT team had the wrong address. So he thought he was being attacked. I think his girlfriend died in the shootout. He was taken into custody alive, and the state tried to charge him with her death and attempted murder of the police officers. Jury came back and went, R2, fuck you. You had the wrong address. He thought he was being attacked. Somebody's trying to, do a home invasion or whatever, because it was probably a no-knock warrant. Surprise, surprise. Those work so well. And ended up getting into a shootout with police. How is that his fault? This is not one of those people that, gets pulled over for a traffic violation, who's got a half a pound of weed in the car and decides, I don't want to go to jail, so I'm going to try and take his life and see if I can get away. That works so well. No, it doesn't. Not by any means. So there's a whole bunch of things. There's a lot of variables. Some of these people, see, here we go. Here's another stupid one. Rittenhouse had his mommy drive him across state lines with a military weapon to hunt humans. First, no, his mommy didn't drive him. He drove himself. Second, it's not a military weapon, you fucking idiot. No military on the planet, not one, uses AR-15s. None. Zero. It's not a fucking military weapon. It's a goddamn hunting rifle. Okay, so it's got some plastic parts on it that make it look like it's a, an M4 or an AR or an M16. Okay. Which point? That's not illegal. It doesn't make it any more deadly than any other weapon I've got. Okay. So you don't know what you're talking about. Here's another one. No clue. And is this supposed to be a lawyer, I would guess? Howard A. at law. Not really. You're a moron. Okay. Well, here's one saying the system is rigged. Not really. Well, to some extent it is. Let's not get into those poor people from the January 6th incident that are still in jail and getting, multi-year sentences that didn't damage anything that I'm aware of. They might have. I don't know. But it cost one woman her life, but she was unarmed. Not going to get into that one. That's a political clusterfuck that is out of our hands, and it's still ongoing. Now, I've heard of this case before. Crystal, interesting way to spell it, Kaiser, was 17 years old, killed the man that had been, raping and trafficking her. Okay. She was convicted and is now in the appeals court. The question comes down to what's the difference between Rittenhouse and her, okay? If it to some extent, it also depends on who her defense attorneys were. What can be proven? Well, apparently it was proven that it was, at least manslaughter, or it could have been first degree murder because she planned it. She sat and waited for him when he came back from wherever he was. She took him out. Oh, look, old fat white guy in D.C. The House Judiciary Chair, Jerry Nadler, Mr. I wear my pants up to my nipples, demands that Biden's Justice Department conduct an official review into Kyle Rittenhouse's heartbreaking, not guilty verdict, calling it a grave miscarriage of justice. Why are politicians getting in on this? Why in the world would a politician have anything to fucking do with this? Oh, wait. They're stoking the fires. No gun charges. No charges were filed against him whatsoever. And the reason is because he agreed to testify. He made a deal. Because they wanted Rittenhouse in jail. They wanted a guilty verdict. But they didn't know honestly that he was going to step up and say, no, he didn't shoot me until I pointed a gun at him. Yes, the video said it. Got it. But he still admitted it on the stand instead of trying to deflect. You know, because you know damn well some idiot would have been sitting there going, it was just pointed in his general direction. Hopefully the jury would have seen right through that. Is there a double standard? To some extent, yes, there is. Yes, there most definitely is. Okay, this is a debatable statement, but probably true. Rittenhouse did more to stop rioting than any elected official in America. Um, let's see. Before the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, I had never heard of a ban on calling murder victims and never saw a defendant pick jurors. Well, number one, they weren't victims by definition. They were aggressors. Okay? But you can't use the term aggressors. So they are individuals. They are rioters. They are protesters. So, again, you're wrong. Because let's be realistic. Kyle Rittenhouse was the victim that defended himself. If you want to play that game, that's the truth of the matter. Oh, look, it's a fluffy-haired asshole that has nothing to do with the planet. Goodbye. Let's see here. South 3 killed 2 and just acquitted. Somebody posted online about the need for self-defense against far-right protesters and eat the rich memes, and got nearly 4 years in prison after being held in solitary confinement for 7 months. I don't know anything about it. We'll move on. If churches, I don't know anything about that. Next. Should he sue the ACLU because they were an observer? They weren't in the same area. So probably not going to get away with that one. A meme saying that Rittenhouse is the equivalent of someone jumping into the lion's den at the zoo and shooting all the animals in self-defense. He had no reason to be in Kenosha that day. No reason at all. Okay. No, they weren't a victim, like I said. Okay. They were the aggressors. They were the attackers. He was the victim. See, and here it is, another one that didn't follow the trial and has an agenda to push. That's not true, because he was actually there trying to be helpful. Should he have been there? Again, back to the beginning, no. 17-year-olds should not have been there, at least not without a parent being present. There was not a parent present. He shouldn't have been there. My opinion only. Agree with it or not, I don't care. Oh, there goes my headset again, because I've got no music or anything playing. Nobody's talking to me. Let's see. Whatever. Oh, see, that's... Rittenhouse needs to sue the FBI for obstructing justice and withholding evidence that would have cleared him of wrongdoing. Let's be honest, people. If you didn't think Big Brother is out there and that the FBI isn't watching everybody, you're fucking wrong. You carry one of these. Guess what's in it? A GPS tracker. They can pinpoint you to within a couple of meters of wherever you're at, if not closer. All right? You got them in your car. You think the government's not using it if they need to or want to? Of course they were. Now here's a better question. Why was the FBI there watching that particular area and not the area where the rioters were? That's the question I have. Excuse me. How did they know to be watching that particular area blocks away from where all the shit was really happening? Okay. Who made that decision, that command decision? Seems kind of convenient. Not a conspiracy theorist, but I've seen a thing or two. Okay. You're never going to get a case against the FBI for obstructing justice. Nice thought, though. Even the prosecutors didn't even know it existed, and for somehow they found out. I don't know who told them or what. It's pretty sure we've kind of had this discussion before. I think, yeah, we're both on watch lists. You got to catch me doing something right now. All I'm doing is voicing an opinion, so it's not against the law. It's my First Amendment right. Okay, a lot of voices who blame Rittenhouse to be found guilty don't even feel the need to bother with an argument. They just shout their unhinged hatred for him and then call anyone who challenges their lies racist. Sounds familiar and pretty accurate. Yeah, wrongful death suits are heading his way. There's no question about it. But I would bet money that he's gonna do pretty well on those, because again, he's been found not guilty, and the evidence is already there. So what are you gonna do? Wrongful death suit. 17-year-old. How much training has he had in self-defense? I know some 17-year-olds that'll fuck you up. They've been taking jujitsu or different, I shouldn't say just martial arts and things like that. So they have a good idea how to defend themselves and whatnot. So, they might have taken a different approach. I personally would have taken a different approach. But I'm going to be clear. I wasn't there. I'm a lot older than him. My life experience and everything is totally, totally different. Whatever. I don't care about that. Okay, Lindy Lee, I don't get your religious thing here because that's not how that works. And he defended himself. He didn't murder anybody. Understand the difference in those terms. If in fact it was self-defense for this individual, this young lady, I do hope that her appeal goes through properly and she's released. The same people kissing the ass of Kyle Rittenhouse want to lecture our black athletes about patriotism. Maybe because some of them need to have that. I don't want to get technical. Let's have some fun with this. Come on. Protesters should all carry AR-15 so they can defend themselves from people like Rittenhouse. Yeah, go ahead. I bet you nobody gets shot. I'm not worried about Trump's reaction. Here's MSNBC talking about systemic racism. And they're saying he's a terrorist. He's not a terrorist. He has no political agenda. You're right, it is justifiable homicide. But he did act in self-defense. This is where I'm going with this. These are the people that have their minds made up. They want to divide our country farther and farther and farther. All right? You want to see people band together? Put them in a war zone. Because I will guarantee you, when shit hits the fan, it doesn't matter what color your skin is, what religion you believe, okay? It doesn't matter any fucking thing. You're there for that soldier, sailor, airman, marine, defender, whatever, on your left and your right so everybody goes home. All right? It doesn't matter what your political affiliation, it doesn't matter who you fucking voted for. All right? What truly matters is that person to your left and to your right. This is bullshit. But This is after the verdict. And they're going to continue to push this narrative that he's a bad guy, a vigilante, a terrorist even. He's not any of those. Let's see here. Yeah, Biden's legally in trouble if Rittenhouse decides to go after him and sue. Yes, I agree with you. Oh, and there's angry cops.
AC reporting for DNN Donut News Network live in Kenosha. Donut, I want to let you know that Kyle Rittenhouse has just recently changed his online persona name from 4 Doors, More Whores to 4-Wheel Drive, I'm Still Alive. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, he's changed it yet again to Pedo to the Meadow. Back to you, Donut.
He's so stupid. I love that man. I mean, let's be absolutely clear that before the verdict on this came out, there's not a single person on the planet that should have made a judgment, okay? Because in this country, we are, whether you like it or not, guilty until proven innocent. I'm sorry, innocent until proven guilty. See, they want people to be guilty so badly they can taste it. They want to be right in their own little minds. Not getting into the shrink thing, but that they will push so bad and so hard thinking that they are right that you end up with what we're looking at now. All right. Politicians, media personalities, celebrities, you've got nothing to say until everything comes out in a jury trial. All right. When it goes before a jury of 12 or even just the judge and the answer comes back, that's all there is to it. Shut the fuck up. You were wrong. Apologize and move on. Oh, I don't care. I mean, it just... I feel bad for this kid. Yeah, he's an adult, but he's still a kid to me. No, as soon as the media gets involved, you're crucified. All right. Look at Nicholas Sandman. The kid just stood there. He didn't do a fucking thing at all. He breathed. He was just breathing. And look what the legacy media did to him. Okay. Then now, after having a not guilty verdict, you've got all these talking heads on all these channels that are still going after him like he's a criminal. Okay. He's an 18-year-old man who was just acquitted of capital crimes that were alleged. Okay. Well, I think there's not that much of a disconnect between the people in charge and the media. Okay. I really don't. I think those people in charge and the media are in the same pocket, if you will. And I'm not going to go too much farther with that. There have been a lot of accusations and a lot of things that have not been proven in this trial that are still running around out that are being even, I'm pretty sure I could pop up one of the news channels right now and they're still running with this shit. That's illegal. That's against the law. And I hope he sues the shit out of all of them. Okay? Not just the company that's putting it up there, but the news commentators and any of the guests that are on there talking that shit. All right? I hope he nails them to the wall and teaches them a huge lesson, because they didn't learn from the Sandman debacle that they created. All right. Yeah, whatever. Oh, look, now we're talking about slave patrols and bounties for murdered natives. Come on, people. And here's my better question. How many of these morons are in college or college educated? No common sense. Don't comprehend what the rule of law is. Already passed that once, doing it again. Matt Getz, Paul Gosar, Madison Cawthorn all want Kyle Rittenhouse as an intern. The outright praise for murder is fucking disgusting. Well, Amy Lynn, guess what? He's not a murderer. Ew. Whatever. See, some of these people just have absolutely no idea. They're listening to the news and listen. I know what you did for the Air Force. That is debatable. I mean, how much of this stuff ends up turning political? But my point is, no, it's not. It's black if you walk outside right now. And that's the problem. They are sheep. They have something to rail against. They want to, something, it's an injustice in their mind that they've been taught is an injustice, and they have to go out and fight, for what is right. The question I have is, where the fuck are your parents? See, this goes back up, and you said something about being smart, and now you're saying you're not that smart. Make up your mind, Chief. Come on, brother. Let's see here. By the way, it wasn't the teen's friend, it was the uncle. Okay. Oh, look, they're trying to remove the judge who deliberately botched the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. No, the prosecutor did. Because, oh wait, it couldn't be botched any worse than it already was. The trial wasn't botched, it was truth that won out in the end. So don't tell me it's been rigged or something, or it's the judge's fault. It's not. The judge did the right thing by making everybody stay within the confines of the law. And if you don't believe me, go look at some of the things that he fucking laid into the prosecution for. All right? We do not see two Americas, you idiot. Yes, he did get pepper sprayed. I kind of like this argument. Yes, the problem is where they got their education from are bastions of liberal stupidity. Okay? Dinesh D'Souza. Why are leftists still calling Rittenhouse a white supremacist? Joseph Rosenbaum was a white guy who routinely used the N-word. So a good case can be made that Rittenhouse is a civil rights hero. He stopped a vicious white supremacist who attacked him. That's a nice spin on it, well, don't you think? That's one way to put it. Way to go, Dinesh D'Souza. Let's see. The entire country was not on it. The principals were not on it. The justice system. Okay, from that perspective, yes. To some extent, that is the truth. That, some of the Second Amendment was on trial and things like that. But Second Amendment to a 17-year-old. All right? So here we go. Is it really about the video? We watch many more videos of police clearly murdering people, but it doesn't seem to matter that there exists objective evidence. In fact, across the United States, across the U.S., municipalities collaborate to bury it. Wow. What fucking rock is this idiot under? Well, that was one of the ones I was pointing out. I mean, the judge fucking laid into him for that. And I loved every second of it. He knew better. He was told not to do it, and he did it anyways. Okay. But this moron, it's about it. I haven't seen that. Don't get me wrong. There are cops that do wrong, and yes, it gets caught on their video cameras, and they're torched for it. And rightly so. But I don't hear how often, again, police murdering people, right? Just because they defend themselves and they have to, eliminate the threat, I don't have a problem with that. More power to you. Drive on. All right? These are not outright murders. I mean, this is the problem we have. These people have this mindset that they are, every time somebody gets killed by a cop, it's a murder. It doesn't have anything to do with they shot at the cop first, or had already killed somebody and a felony stop was being done and they came out shooting. Or not even a felony stop. There was one in Florida where, it was just a regular stop. Cops are waiting for the stuff to come back on the radio that it was good to go. And one of the passengers pulled out a fucking AK-47 and started shooting. Why? Because he had warrants and didn't want to go back to prison. Well, he's dead. And is that a murder to this person? I'll bet it is, even though it's not. I wholeheartedly agree with that pinky part, the pinky toe thing. He tried to make a mockery of it, and he got fucking taken down. Okay? He got put in his fucking place. I mean, he tried to go against the judge several times, and the last time I checked, you don't get to talk to a judge like that. I mean, he was smug. For God's sakes, man, fix your fucking hair. Okay? You're not Commissioner Gordon. I agree. It never should have gone that far. Should have been just, self-defense and away it goes. But again, they had to have somebody to blame for the deaths. He's a little Rambo wannabe. Okay. Rambo killed everybody that attacked him. If I remember correctly. It was not unwarranted. You see, but that's just it. Even if it was another judge, that makes it immediate grounds for appeal or a mistrial. Okay. Yeah, me too. Oh, seriously? Are they really talking about not trusting the Constitution because it was written by white folk? Uh huh. White on white crime. It's about black people. No, it's not. Oh, here's a good one. Congratulations to Kyle Rittenhouse from President Trump, former President Trump, for being found innocent on all charges. It's called found not guilty. And by the way, it's not self-defense. Nothing is. Okay. Yeah, he was not guilty of the charges. That makes him innocent. So not guilty and innocent are the two things. Same thing. Okay? Really? Okay, leave it to the internet trolls. There's another Kyle Rittenhouse arrested. It's a Florida man in Gainesville, Florida, for a different Kyle Rittenhouse for possessing child porn. Guess who's really going to prison? That one is. I'm not going there. Even if Rittenhouse had been black, I'm convinced today's verdict would still be not guilty. Only difference is it'd be a verdict for the cop standing trial for killing the black Kyle Rittenhouse. Yeah, okay, whatever. How to Get Away with Murder just got a reboot starring Kyle Rittenhouse. No. Again, moron. Oh, look, somebody with the last name of Malice. Please, I'm begging you, Joe Biden, get on TV and denounce this Rittenhouse verdict. Right. The legalities that go along with that, go ahead. This kid will be fucking beyond rich. Okay? Called him white supremacist white supremacist without any evidence of that. He's disturbed and concerned about the verdict that was given by 12 jurors. This is from President Biden. Guess who fucked up? Okay? Let's see here. See, here's another moron. Breaking: Kyle Rittenhouse en route to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump to discuss the possible reinstitution of slavery. You know, and you're right, he basically did. And that's going to come back to bite him in the ass. He's going to have to pay a shitload of money to this kid if they sue him, and I hope they do. I mean, I'm done. I don't know that he represents the best of America. Poor choices got him to where he was. Already got that. Had Kyle Rittenhouse gunned down 2 unborn fetuses in Texas, the narrative would be completely different. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Seriously. What the fuck is wrong with you? See, here we go. Politicians and shit running their fucking mouths. Oh, here's somebody that's going to hide, so put their head in the sand. Uh-huh. My kids are the antithesis of Kyle Rittenhouse. Many of your children are. That's where we draw encouragement today. The adults celebrating today are raising angry children who despise diversity and love violence as much as they do. The rest of us need to stand together. Moron! I'll stand behind my kid 100%. He ends up having to take somebody else's life in defense. And thank God it's all on video. See, here we go. Somebody has done a live show, had never watched the trial, never seen the videos, didn't even know the people who died were convicted felons. But they're going to go out and start running their fucking mouths because they know. Oh, got somebody else stopping to watch. Hi, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate having you here. Hop in the chat. We can discuss this. I love having, civil discourse if we have to. Right now, I've got David Requel 1, who is playing devil's advocate for me, which I appreciate. Let's see here. What do you got to say here? Bad part is you really think this kid's life, and you think he's not going to have consequences from it later. Oh, I'll bet. No, this he's not going to be a nurse. Are you kidding me? He's not going to get to go to college. He's not going to get to do anything. Because of just the accusations. And having him there is going to be a political firestorm. So, he's going to have to go to an international college someplace to, go to school and get, accomplish his education if he so desires. But in the next few years, he's liable to be a multimillionaire, so. See, and here we go, another one saying he murdered 2 people. He did not murder people. He was the victim. He defended himself. Yeah. He was not part of the militia. Oh, look, you're going to join Nader and asking to see if there's an investigation and prosecution may be warranted. For what? Anybody ever heard of double jeopardy? What, Black Rifle Coffee Company is anti-Rittenhouse? I doubt that highly. Scott Greer, 6'2", IQ of 187. Zero common sense then. Can he tie his own shoes? Because if he can, I'll debate him whether his IQ is that high. If his IQ is 187, mine's 204. I mean, how narcissistic do you have to be that you put your IQ, alleged IQ, as part of your name, and not to mention your height? Really? Hey, Warfare. Hey, thanks for the raid. Appreciate it. That surprises me. I need to look into that. All right, so they're not anti-Rittenhouse, they're anti-political bullshit. They're standing with him, but they backed away because of the political bullshit. And I know, honestly, from a business standpoint, you're selling coffee and shit. You don't want to be in the midst of politics. So I can understand this. Let's see here. Whatever. What other stupidity we have? Yes, there's already a GoFundMe there. Oh, here's Amy Lynn again. Right-wingers are now boldly and openly threatening BLM and Antifa after the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. Bullshit. Bullshit flag. Fuck you. My God, these people. Oh, here's another scaredy. The Lawrence tribe. At a time when the United States is deeply ideological, polarized, and the Supreme Court is soon to recognize the right to have concealed weapons in public, the social implications of the Rittenhouse verdict are frightening. Really? Hi, MJ. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping in. Now, for those who just joined from the raid, I appreciate you following Hazard over. I really do. I'm just kind of going over the stupidity that's being posted out here on the interwebs. This is Twitter specifically. I'm going to, at the beginning of this, I posted point blank, I said, and this is my opinion, at the age of 17, Mr. Rittenhouse should not have been out there. He should, he's not old enough to be out there by himself. One of his parents should have been with him. I don't care, Recoil, or anybody else thinks, they knew where he was. I don't give a shit. All right? At the age of 17, if one of my kids wanted to go do this, I'd have gone with them. All right? Then that would have changed the whole dynamic of what went down, because he'd have never left my motherfucking side. Or she would have never left my side. I got good kids. They stand up for what's right. They would defend people to their dying breath just like I will. No, he drove. He's got his own vehicle. He drove himself there. He had to, no, he didn't. Maybe you're right. Maybe I misunderstood something, because he had to get a ride home that's right. So, no, I'm incorrect. So earlier I said he drove himself there. I was wrong. I stand corrected. So, yeah, somebody took him. I guess maybe it was his mother. But still, she should have stayed there with him instead of just dropping him off and hope for the best. All right, I'll be honest with you. I'd have been standing right next to him with my own AR ready to go. And that kid would have not left my side if it were that to that point where it needed to be done. That's where I would have been with it. That's what I would have done. Oh yeah, she doesn't look right in the head. Well, I mean, he wants to be, he's a helper. He wants to be able to go out and help people. I get this. Okay. But you don't see EMTs and firefighters running around with firearms. I think some places may have just authorized it. I could be wrong, but traditionally, but convicted of what? He defended himself. All the videos and everything that were shown and all the testimony that was provided, he was the victim in this. He was being attacked and he defended himself. If you've seen something that I didn't see that is from the case, it's, from that wasn't presented to the jury, I'd love to see it. No, that's not murder. He took their lives in self-defense. That's not murder. If you've got the ability, hop into my Discord. We can discuss this. Oh, I know you're not. I know you're not. I want your mindset. I want to see where you're coming from with this so we can have a discussion. And this is my normal voice. So I'm not, not trying to berate you or anything. I want to know where you have the evidence that's saying he should be convicted of murder. Poor Recoil's not having any fun. No, listen. I don't think you're trying to be an antagonist. I want to have a logical discussion with you if we can. To be quite honest, I'm not going to try and change your mind. I just want to know where your evidence has come from that you think what he did was murder. Even after 12 people sat on a jury and deliberated for days to come back and say he's not. And if you say anything about MSNBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, or any of those, even Fox, I don't want that. That's bullshit. Okay, because they're making stuff up. They're still making stuff up as we speak. But, like I said initially, he should have never been there, in my humble opinion. But did he commit murder? By definition, by the legal definition, he did not. You know how many people actually believe that shit because of that? It's just upsetting to me that people are just so, yeah. Look, here's another one. Piece of shit, legal trouble again, and won't be this biased, and Kyle will go away for a long time, like he should have today. See, again, somebody who probably never watched anything but the news and believes everything that they are told, instead of researching it for themselves, taking the time to watch the trial and see how things went. Okay, I mean, that's my biggest issue, is the fact that, a lot of people are talking shit and none of them have even taken the time to watch any part of the trial to find out why things went the way they went. What evidence was provided? How was it provided? What were the arguments that went along with said evidence? Okay. Yeah, I'm not even going to stop with that video. I saw part of it and it's just wham, 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 wham. All about black people all of a sudden. And I'm sorry, you're not black. You have a better tan than I do. You have more, more pigment in your skin than I do. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. If he was black, he wouldn't have lived to see the trial. Come on, people. Oh, and that's a bishop. Talbert Swan. Right. Because every black man that commits a crime gets murdered, right? Okay, let's see. What do you got? Only from what you've seen, I believe the way he acted after the attack at least looked like he gloated about it. Okay. First correction I'm going to give you is his mother did not drive him there with the firearm. The mother drove him to the uncle's house where the firearm was located, according to the testimony, which was agreed upon between the both the defense and the prosecution agreed that that was already there. That's why the weapons charge was dropped. Nobody could prove that his intent was to shoot anybody. That was never put out in the testimony. No evidence was ever given. I don't know what his parents said or did that may or may not have encouraged it. That was never put into evidence, so that's hearsay, to me that information is suspect, and you're welcome for the correction. Just like you corrected me. I just, that's what we have is a civil conversation. The way he acted after the attack, now I didn't see anything about him gloating or anything about it. All I know is that after the attack, he tried to get to the Kenosha police, who pepper sprayed him and told him to get away. He ended up going home, where his mother took him to the police department, where he turned himself in. Now, apparently his mother and father are divorced. Dad lives in Kenosha. Right. So, but again, he didn't go across state lines. And by the way, under the Interstate Commerce Act, that's not illegal, even for a minor to take it across state lines. And let's remember, where he lives is 16 miles away from Kenosha as his house of record. But his father lives in Kenosha. I really don't watch the news anymore, because depending on what channel you watch, it's all slanted to that side. All right. There may be news agencies that have popped up that are actually neutral, like they used to be back when I was a kid, where here's the news, here's what happened. You make up your own mind and go from there. Again, I don't remember him gloating about it. He did, at one point, he stopped talking about it at the advice of his attorney, which was smart. Wasn't doing interviews or anything like that. So I don't know what you saw, so I can't debate whether or not he did gloat about it. I personally would not be gloating about taking a life. So, okay. I do hope so. I mean, that's pretty much the thing I'll look at, is mainly for the weather. That's recoil. That's why you can't trust the news. I watched a lot of the trial itself, and saw the testimonies and things like that. Oh, you're right. That's exactly what he said just before he shot the first guy, right? Unfortunately, there's too many people in this country that just follow it like it's gospel. Part of my family is that way too. I love my mother to death, but I can't get her to critically think about anything anymore. Yeah, exactly. Well, there's people on here that are calling him a terrorist. Apparently, they don't comprehend what the definition of a terrorist is. They're fucking idiots, is what they are. Oh, here's a stretch. Ready for it? Here's a stretch. Kyle Rittenhouse killed white men who were protesting the murder of a black man, and the jury found deaths justified. You can be white and still be a victim of white supremacy simply by attempting to challenge it. Oh my God. How do these people function on a day-to-day basis, Doctor? Something Oprah? How do you honestly function? I bet they're college professor. Oh, here's a headline for you. Kyle Rittenhouse acquittal endangers protesters. No, it doesn't. Endangers people who are trying to attack you. CNBC headline, Biden says he's angry and concerned over Rittenhouse acquittal for Kenosha killings. What? All right, would you elaborate on that, MJ, a little bit for me, please? That last statement? All right, let's continue on while we wait for MJ to elaborate. Oh, look, here's another one bringing race into the surface. White guy killing white guys. Racism. Another one about racism, unbalanced society. No argument with that one. Okay, whatever. I don't think anybody's going to run against him. Medical doctor, moron, type 1 each. That would be amusing as hell. It really, really would. I'd love to see that happen. I love this one. Kamala, I was president for 83 minutes today, but Kyle Rittenhouse stole my thunder. If I've never seen an oxygen thief, you know, I wouldn't know what one is. Yes, it is. Oh, protesters sitting on the Brooklyn Bridge. Hopefully, all that talk by the left about the U.S. crumbling infrastructure is true. Okay. First off, racism. Let's actually get to the definition of racism. It's not your skin tone. Okay. We are all the same race. Our race is human. Okay. So, what are you truly if you judge someone by the color of their skin? You're a colorist. Okay. Any loss of life is tragic, no matter where it happens, why it happens. Okay. Except for maybe mass murderers. Those fuckers need to die. Was this avoidable? Yes. Things should have been done that weren't done. My opinion solely. But we're dealing with the fallout of what a jury of 12 has said according to the law. There are white supremacists in this country, but you find them hiding in the woods playing army or playing militia, okay? The majority of them. Or they're KKK, or they're the skinheads, you know. They're there, but you don't see them all over the damn place. anybody of any color can be racist. Okay, I have been judged by the color of my skin when I lived in Japan. There are certain places I cannot go to, bars, restaurants, things like that, because I'm not Japanese. So it's not just, the United States. This is global. You are judged on your skin tone. If you go to Thailand, you will find that, there's that too. You will find that those who have darker complexions, they're born in Thailand. They're Thai citizens, okay? But those who have darker complexions are looked down upon because they're field workers or their families worked in fields. They're not, pardon me, they're not college educated in a lot of cases, and this other bullshit. So just by the skin tone being darker, they are discriminated against. So this is not something that is only just for the United States. This is happening around the world. Will it ever change? Not likely. All right. The utopia that people and elected officials and other people in certain colleges push that, this is the way it should be. It's all, nobody has to worry about anything. It's all done and you can just go do whatever, blah, 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 is a load of bullshit. Okay. There was a TV show that started and didn't last very long called Utopia. I wonder if I can find it on IMDb. If I can spell it right. Nope. That's a movie. God, when was this done? No, that's not it. It did not last long at all. No, that's not it either. So I don't know. It's not showing up on IMDb, which is kind of interesting. You got it, man. No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm actually about to call a night. I've been on here going for just shy of 2 hours. But like I said, there was a TV show. It was short-lived, where a group of people of varying ages and backgrounds were put into in an enclosed area, if you will. That there was food, there was there was nourishment, clothing, all this other shit, right? But things had to be done for their little society to continue to survive, right? They had to, harvest food, clean this, that, and the other thing, maintain that sort of shit. Well, it went exactly how a lot of people thought it would. The older people that were in the group were trying to make sure shit was being done, and the younger people in the group were in the pool. Okay? And when it was brought up that, hey, this is what we're all supposed to be, okay, that it's supposed to be everybody helps, everybody, reaps benefits, they kind of went, or fuck you. So, and what ends up happening? It ends up getting destroyed. And after, I think, the third episode, somebody, I don't remember what it was, but it's effectively committed a crime against the whole group. And they had to set up a legal setup, a jury, have a trial to determine the guilt or innocence of the individual. Well, it got shut down real fast after that. That show didn't last 3-4 episodes at most. And I was hoping I could find it. It's out here somewhere in the world. Yeah, see, I mean, it's. I wish I could find it because it just blows their socialist utopia bullshit out of the fucking water. You know, you got to work a little and everybody gets everything. Well, that's not the way it works. You know, it has failed every fucking time. It would be wonderful that, something like that were to happen. Fast forward to Star Trek. Okay. Well, that is after World War III, a huge nuclear war happened, and humanity has sorted out their stupidity, and been able to go to the stars with the help from alien entities to be able to, get everything squared away. Well, of course not. They don't want to know. They don't want anybody to know about that shit because it torpedoes what they want to do. I mean, there are businesses right now that are having trouble hiring people. Talked to my father earlier today, and there's a restaurant here. It's a locally owned, unoperated restaurant. He's paying people $17 an hour or more to work there, and they're not staying. They're getting more money by not working. I understand that during the time of COVID when people couldn't go out and work and do all this shit, that help was needed. No argument. The pandemic's over. By definition, it's long over. Get your asses back to fucking work. So, on that note, I think I will call it a night here. And we will see how it goes. And I appreciate everybody stopping in and watching and hanging out in the conversation. Of course, Recoil. And MJ, thanks for chiming in. I do appreciate it. I hope you have a good evening, everybody. We will talk to you down the road. We'll see you on Monday, no question about it, 9 p.m. Central. And we will talk more veteran shit as opposed to what happened today. Take care of yourselves. Take care of everybody around you. And we'll see you soon.